Hi, this is Ian Zepp with M43 Instead. I'm going to give a quick down and dirty demo of classifications. Classifications is it's a package available for installation from the App Exchange. Basically, classifications allows you to build out a hierarchy of arbitrary types of metadata. So in this case, I've gone ahead and set up a couple sample classifications, and we'll also walk through setting some more up so you can see how they work. Businesses all have their own way of classifying information, classifying accounts, contacts, opportunities, and in a lot of cases it makes sense to use normal pick lists for those things. Even dependent pick lists are valuable. However, there are many situations where simply storing everything in a flat pick list doesn't really make sense. You want to be able to not just build trees of information, you also want to be able to actually relate pieces of information to other pieces of information. So in this video, and then in a subsequent video I'm going to do that talks about rules engine integration, I'm going to show you how you can create a set of classifications that will allow you to reduce some of the administrative overhead of mapping, manual maintenance, and produce clearer reports to give you better visibility into how your accounts and your contacts are actually classified. So let's just have a look at this classifications object. So if we look at the United States, for example, now what I've gone and done is set up a brief hierarchy here. I have accounts region, I have account regions as the master root node, and then underneath that I have a North America subregion and a United States subregion. Now, one of the things that you may notice is that these are all arbitrary. I can create any given new classification at any time, and it will build out this tree for me dynamically. So for example, if I wanted to create a new classification called account tags, I would go ahead and create that, and then I would create a new classification called image for image tags, and then perhaps a JPEG subclassification underneath. These are fully linked, so I can click on any given classification and it takes me right to that record. And one of the other things that you should notice is that these are actually records. These are full-fledged records in the Salesforce cloud. And you can associate these with a standard lookup field. You can associate these with a normal master detail relationship. You can treat them just like you would a normal custom object in Salesforce, because that's what they are. You can also build many-to-many relationships around these. I can have an account classifications object that sits in between of my accounts and sits in between of my classifications and simply links the two together. And that allows me to have an arbitrary number of classifications per account and an arbitrary number of accounts per classification. With a little bit of work and a little bit of training, it actually becomes quite powerful how you can use these classifications. So let's go have a look at the ones that I had set up in advance, which are account regions. So I've created a tree here of account regions and partially filled out the North America section. We have the United States, the Southwest, Central, Southeast, Federal Government sections. Now these, if you have a postal code or a zip code object, could be related to those as well. One of the things that you'll notice is that there's a difference between the classification name and the classification key. This allows your developers to reference these records based on either a local key or a fully qualified key. The key will not change if you change the label. So if I change this federal to federal state government, spelled correctly, and I save it, the key stays the same. That provides compatibility between older versions of your API and newer versions of your API. So that's a quick down and dirty introduction to classifications. It shows you how they can be built out in a custom tree format, and we talked about how they can be related to any type of object in your system.